Tagumpay National High School would like to present to you a research-based assessment on the impact and quality of the school's Learning Continuity Plan. This is a collaborative effort of Ms. Anne-Michelle S. Medina, the Learning Continuity Plan and School ICT Coordinator, and Mr. Leonardo P. Hiray, Learning Outcomes Assessment and School-Based Management Coordinator. A major challenging role was faced by Tagumpay National High School on education and services delivery with the disruption caused by COVID-19 pandemic. The soaring number of confirmed cases have resulted in Luzon-wide lockdown, with the Rizal provincial government in a total lockdown in an Executive Order No. 14 series of 2020. The outbreak did not spare the municipality of Rodriguez Rizal, where 17 areas in 6 barangays were identified as hotspots. Tagumpay, where NHS is seated, is one of the identified critical areas due to the high number of active COVID cases. The scenario is worsened by the unavailability of vaccine, which has caused the practice of physical or social distancing to prevent the spread of the disease. The unexpected global disruption has displaced the school's 2,369 learners and its 91 teachers to face issues on learning continuity and a challenge to transitioning its major activities from physical to distance. The opening of classes has moved NHS to the adoption of the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan for the school year 2020-2021 as mandated by DepEd Order No. 12 Series of 2020. The challenge lies in the school's sudden shift to distance learning modality, a teaching and learning strategy against time and space. The research employed the input, process, and output or IPO structure for its conceptual framework. At the lens of systems approach to distance learning, objectives include finding out the problems encountered by the learners in distance learning modality, the impact of SLCP on students, teachers, and stakeholders, and the quality extent of the SLCP in terms of course design and development, teaching and learning, student support, and organization and management. A mixed method approach was utilized in the study to capture the story, approaches, and impact of SLCP. Tagumpay National High School is a recipient of DepEd Computerization Program packages and trainings under DepEd's Digital Rise program, which exemplifies transformative leadership under Mrs. Susana J. Sacatrapos, Principal 4, as she strengthened ICT-supported teaching and learning in a network-centered environment. Teachers' demographics revealed a young population of teachers with 22 as the youngest age. This age bracket is very promising as it has experienced the 4th-generation distance learning. This is an empowered phase for teachers as knowledge and skills can be obtained anytime, anywhere through e-learning, mobile learning, and ubiquitous learning. The population is dominated by female teachers with 59 or 69.4%, 76.6% of the population are entry level, with 78.8% has less than 10 years of experience. 98.8% of teachers are confident in using technology. However, 70% expressed the need in developing e-learning activities, a curatorial role. In terms of access, 98.82% have smartphones, 96.47% have laptops, and 22.35% have tablets, while 78.8% have connection to the internet. The table shows the number of learners under their prescribed age, based on DepEd Order No. 3 Series of 2018 titled Basic Education Enrollment Policy. It also shows the number of learners whose ages are at the maximum for each grade level. In terms of sex, there are 1,264 male learners and 1,200 female learners. As for learning modalities, 1,266 are classified under online distance learning and 1,198 for modular distance learning. 81.69% of the learners can read and download files from the internet, and 83.13% can submit online activities, but only 68 to 73% of the learners have internet access. Learners are also faced with the challenge of technology-based learning, considering the different ICT tools available to them. The slide showed a summary of parents' and guardians' educational and employment status. The majority are high school graduates, and some are unemployed. Strategies and approaches to LCP include administration of survey instruments, orientation to teachers, the conduct of in-service training for teachers, public briefing via broadcast, and simulation. Through the school's Mission Bridge program, Teachers Learning and Design or L&D was offered to teachers. This program follows a systems approach to L&D, starting from needs analysis to training design and assessing of transferred skills. Reskilling and upskilling for teachers involved giving them webinars on distance learning, equipping them to create, structure, and support the new environment with resources, pedagogies, and technologies. The initiative harvests positive responses from teachers. It positively affects the way they see technology to support innovative and creative teaching and encourage deeper learning through collaboration. According to Bandelaria, an issue in distance learning is access, the cost of access, and skills. Hence, the school provided teachers with resources such as lending them the DCP Batch 44 Acer 221 tablet, giving them a smart LTE pocket Wi-Fi, a 1TB external storage drive, and a teaching amplifying device. Before the opening of classes, a learner support system was put in place for TNHS learners through Project Course Mission, CARE, which stands for Computer Advocates for Responsive Education Mechanism, in form of online enrollment, online broadcasts, localized Ronda Escuela, house-to-house dissemination of brochures on distance learning modality, availability of kiosks to access, submit, print module, and enrollment guide, public briefing, online counseling on positive use of ICT and mental health awareness, and class simulation of ODL and MDL. These are essential to scaffold learners to succeed in the new environment. The efforts are found to be effective as there are 2,051 or 85.67% of learners who passed in all subjects in Q1 as reported by the school head. The big percentage of passers is attributed to the dialogue conducted with the parents, remediation activities, and home visitation. However, there are also 315 or 13.16% of learners who received the mark of incomplete, and there are about 28 or 1.17% of learners who are at risk of dropping out. The findings reveal the top 6 problems encountered by the TNHS learners, which were classified into technical, academic, and emotional. 1. Internet connectivity issues. 2. Too many lessons or activities. 3. Limited technical skills. 4. Difficulty to understand the lesson. 5. Inability to practice time management. 6. Absence of personal guide or tutor. The cognitive or academic aspect supports learning through the mediation of different working elements of the course material. These include access to digital or printed self-learning module, a well-written weekly home learning plan, identified number of activities, and other learning resources. Learners have identified this need as an important aspect to succeed in distance learning due to its frequency, as it ranks 2nd, 4th, 6th, 8th, and 9th on the list. The affective or emotional deals with the provision of a learning environment that reinforces commitment and increases motivation. The emotional aspect of distance learners should also be considered in the design of the learning environment. The inability to practice time management and failure to focus due to distractions ranked 5th and 6th in the problems encountered by the learners. These can hamper the learner's motivation. The systematic or technical part refers to the student support in form of information on school policy, such as admission, enrollment, retention, library services, requests for school records, access to learning modules or materials, and quality assurance. This may also cover other organizational processes like information on how learning is to be facilitated, knowledge and assessment method, provision of technological infrastructure, and other ICT resources like G Suite account or Microsoft account for students. counseling, capacity development, and provision of after-class support to help learners move with ease in a distance learning environment. Teachers positively responded to the opening of classes as 100% were found to be technically prepared and emotionally adjusted for ODL and MDL modalities during the TNHS's open class in October 2020. TNH's open class resembles the usual annual classroom visit done in a physical classroom during the class opening. In an FDL on the issues and challenges encountered by teachers in instruction and assessment delivery, some best practices were noted on how they have provided a solution. Some best practices include the uploading of recorded video lessons and teacher-made instructional materials, extending the deadline of submission, conduct of home visitation, provide stimulating activities such as games, reiterating activities through group chat, provide activity sheets, and strengthening student support. Teachers were able to prepare and structure their virtual classrooms and place other support mechanisms for inclusion and equity, even though learners are equally challenged in their familiarity with e-classroom and on the use of video class tools. The study also analyzed the feedback, suggestions, and recommendations of the learners for continuous improvement. To mention the top recommendations: 1. Reduce the number of activities. 2. Provide audio or video explanation. 3. Extend the deadline of output submission. 4. Improve the internet connection. 5. Provide clear, specific instructions. And 6. Reduce video class sessions. Dave highlights the importance of home and family interaction in lifelong learning. He acknowledges home as the educative agency that initiates the learning process. Learners' responses showed that family support helped them cope with the challenges of the new environment, as 158 of them sought the assistance of their parents. The roles played by TNH's parents as home-based learning support were highly evident and positively influenced learners' behavior toward learning continuity. Dave underscored the role of the community in the learning systems, be it planned or accidental. This is reflected in the untiring determination of the school administration through the Brigada Escuela and Adopt a School program coordinators who have mobilized the TNHS community to work as a team and a partner towards quality education. In a report submitted by the BE coordinator, several donated resources for school year 2020 to 2021 were listed and identified as school support for teachers and the learners as shown. Managing distance learning institutions necessitates technical skills for teachers like onboarding and structuring of courses to facilitate teaching and learning, as well as administrative skills for classroom management that involves monitoring and reporting of learners' progress. More comprehensive profiling of individual teachers should also be done in distance learning modality to cover teachers' curatorial ability, capture their pedagogical competence, measure their technical capability, and analyze their available resources. These are the key factors needed to design a learning and development system that could further help teachers move in a new environment. It is also suggested to include a report on how teachers facilitate and assess learners in the new setting by studying the classroom observation report. Since teaching in the new normal requires longer hours in terms of material preparation and provision of after-class support, a study on how teachers manage their time will also help the school administration to strategically plan for the succeeding years in terms of workload, instruction, and assessment strategies, material development, provision of resources, and policy making. Capitalizing on course development model, which is scalable and localized, is highly suggested as teachers deal with enormous resources found at the web and the different role they assume under the new normal. TNHS should take advantage of the school's core team, technical and instruction, as its quality circle for instructional materials development and evaluation. The team can work on the identified concerns raised by the learners in form of a workshop or write-shop with content, media, and technology experts. Distance learning, although empowering and learner-centered by nature, tends to isolate slow learners. To support learners, there is a need to intensify programs like provision of load to learners call for more volunteers for the school reading program, conduct more home visitation and remedial class, and promote equity by creating equal chances for learners and their modular class. The management should conduct a program evaluation after the school year has concluded to work on policy strengthening, quality assurance mechanism, partnership mobilization, and escalation of research.